Buenos dias, chicas. Welcome back to the Chile series and welcome to another Gas Right video. We're going to be covering everything that you need to know about the Pacific coast trip, which is the beautiful, colourful port town of Valparaiso, the naughty little setup and beach town of Vina Del Mar, and of course the sand dunes of Concon. If there's any questions you have, bang it in the comments. Whilst you're down there, hit that subscribe button. We're still en route to 3K subs, and let's get straight into it. So Valparaiso, beautiful little setup. We went there on a trip and then it drops off in Vina Del Mar afterwards. I think you could go there without a trip. Do you know what I mean? I didn't feel unsafe. There are a lot of small little alleyways and stuff like that as you're kind of walking and exploring, and it does get busy in parts. So if you're a little bit worried about that, go on a trip and go around with someone who knows the roads inside out. However, if you want a little bit more of a getting up close and personal, I would say it would be absolutely fine to walk around. Goes without saying within that, don't be going there late at night because it's probably less than ideal. They were saying because it's such a big tourist hotspot, it's mainly hotels and like hostels that they have there. Lots of the locals have kind of moved out of that kind of like main area because it was absolute carnage. It was deemed a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So yeah, it's a lovely little setup. Very much reminded me of the Gamcheon Cultural Village, if I could get my words out. If anyone's been to South Korea and Busan, you've got the tiered houses as you kind of go up into the mountains. It is unbelievably steep. So if you are going to go there and you're going to walk it yourself or go on a trip, get dropped off at the top and work your way down. Otherwise, you're going to be absolutely nailing the old cardio. But as I say, all the buildings are terrace, all different colours, all different architecture. I guess within that, the colours, you have some buildings which are literally just painted blue, red, etc. But you have others which are just absolutely covered in different artwork, which is pretty flair, to be fair. For me, it's if you order Banksy off wish.com. There's a few good pieces in there, but I tell you what, I reckon I could give it a few of them a go myself. In terms of the influence, in terms of the architecture, you have a mix of religions over there, which obviously impact the architecture, but huge European influence. So yeah, all the buildings are super cool. A little taste, a little reminder of home and the old European circuit. There's 300,000 people live there, which it sounds a lot, but when you look at it, you're like, surely it would be more than that. It just goes on for mile after mile after mile, and how like the severity and how steep it is, there must be a crazy amount of people who live there. The funiculars are absolutely needed. There's a few that you can kind of go on. Me and Em didn't go on because we were on like a little bit of a guided trip, so we just had a kind of 1 hour walk around, but there are some that are in use, some that aren't in use, so just have a look at that ahead of time. It's like a few dollars to go up those, and if you're starting at the bottom, I would heavily advise that, otherwise you're going to be battering the old legs. In terms of the viewpoint, do you know what I mean? It goes without saying, if you're going up really, really high into the into the hills, what you're going to get? You're going to get a ridiculous viewpoint over the sea itself. So yeah, for me, that was probably the highlight. I think the buildings are cool, the art's cool, but for me, I'm always a sucker for a viewpoint. So I would definitely go up there if you want a view over the port, the sea, and it's just an absolutely ruthless little setup. I think there's a mixture between actual artwork and what I would more class as like graffiti. Both adds to the old flavour of the place. So I thought it was pretty cool. In terms of Vina Del Mar, so that's where we're staying, me and Em, and I actually think this is a beautiful little place, to be honest. The scenery and the beachfront completely caught me off guard. It's kind of a mix between, I'd say, like, this sounds like a mad mix when I'm going to say it, mix between like Positano, Mallorca, and then like Blackpool, which if anyone knows Blackpool, that probably sounds like a bit of like a dig, but it's actually super, super cool. You obviously have some huge hotels. We're just staying in a little, our first hostel in 7 months away. So yeah, the bougie backpackers no more. Interesting little setup where we're staying, but they're actually super nice. So maybe we've been missing out for the last 7 months. We should stay in some more. But we digress from the point. Let's get back to Vina Del Mar. Lovely little town. You can walk from where we are in Vina Del Mar, like the CBD, all the way to the Concon sand dunes, which is it took us about 1 hour and 45 minutes to get that whole way up. I was going to say 3 hours, which it definitely didn't take. That took us about 2.5, but it's taking all this delicious drone footage, which is hopefully going in to the old retinas as we speak. So it's a Pacific coastal resort and named the Garden City. I mean, I don't get a huge amount of greenery in terms of walking around, but there's trees, there's palm trees. So I guess it depends what you're looking for. The Casablanca region nearby, which we drove through, that's where I'd probably more get like the Garden City. So maybe it falls under that. So if you do want to check out some wine tasting, the Casablanca region is very well known for its Sauvignon Blancs and it's Chardonnay. So if you're partial to a little dry, little white wine, this is going to be a little spot for you. I thought the beachfront is huge. There's loads of different beaches you kind of walk all the way up, all very similar. Do you know what I mean? Nice sands. The bit of Vina Del Mar, I would say, was the busiest area. People sitting, chilling, relaxing on the beachfront. And then some of the other ones are a bit more secluded. So if you did want like a beach to yourself, that's also a possibility, which I think is pretty cool, to be honest. Oh yeah, you can get like a whole beach yourself. You did have to walk around like a few rocks and stuff, so just bear that in mind, depending on how loose you're feeling. A little bit of volleyball on the beach, loads of places to get a thermonista, which is that absolutely ruthless cocktail. We're gonna be back on those today, which is like basically a pint of, this is again, it sounds like a ridiculous combo, pint of white wine with unaged brandy, grenadine, and pineapple ice cream on top. You think, Gaz, that can't work. It absolutely does work. Is it good for the rig? No. And you need about 2 of them to get absolutely a wonky donkey. So just bear that in mind as well if you're drinking those. I've never seen this before. So we got the drone up going over. You can see the beauty of the beach, the backdrop of like the apartments, which I think are very similar to that of Mallorca and stuff like that, all terraced. Again, all have vernaculars within the hotels because it is so steep. But the dogs, I've never seen the dogs go as active for the drone. Like, I literally went to set the drone up, dogs were running at me. I was like, get that high in the sky and get these old boys away from it, which is crazy. If you were a little bit more bougie, if you want to stay in somewhere a little bit more flair, look at Eurosol. So this is a huge hotel. All the rooms have sea views and they have a pool as well, which looked like probably the most fancy, most flair hotel that I could see across the beach itself. But yeah, for me, lovely little setup, would highly recommend. You could still, I don't know if you'd have a beach holiday this time of year. So we're here obviously in September time. I think obviously if you come in the height of summer in about 2 months time, I think this would be like a proper buzzing place, like a big surfing place as well. This time of year, it's a mix. So yesterday we had super nice weather. As you can see me walking around now, it's a little bit overcast. It's not, I mean, I was gonna say it's not too cold today. I'm wearing my thermal tops. That probably tells you everything. I think one thing to note about Chile is even it's so hot in the day, when the sun's out and the sun's on you, it is boiling. And then when you go in the evenings or when the sun's not out, you will be absolutely freezing. So again, just something to bear in mind. And completely caught off guard. We're just walking, sauntering down the beach, just about to get to the old sand dunes, and out of nowhere, there's an absolute shed ton of seals. A ridiculous amount, like hundreds, which is again super flair, come up from the old Arctic Circle, and again just adds to the old environment and the things that are going on. I was going to fly the drone, but I was a bit like, I'm not sure if you're allowed to fly it too close to them, and also there's a lot of seagulls as well. So to be honest, we thought we better give that a miss. So hopefully you can get a little glimpse of them from my phone and stuff, what we took yesterday. But again, yeah, ridiculous setup. I think that just like diversity of things, like you've got that like really cold element of like the south of Chile, and obviously the Andes Mountains where we've kind of been around, and then you're in the middle of a city, then we're on a beach, and that juxtaposition is absolutely flair as chips. Flair as seals we'll go with today. And then the final stop, the final frontier of the old experience is the Concon sand dunes. It was about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes walk from the centre of Vina Del Mar, and it is a pretty intense walk when you get to the end. So you're walking down the beach, that's pretty flat as chips, mate. However, if you can see from like where the buildings are, you have a really steep walk up the sand dunes to get up there. So just bear that in mind. We went up this absolutely ridiculous little staircase, which was, yeah, I think you probably need about 15 minutes of absolutely attacking the old zone 5 cardio, battering into the old system, into the old lungs, but you are rewarded because the Concon sand dunes I thought were absolutely sensational. Again, I'm a sucker for a viewpoint, but I think when you get that mixture of the sea, the sand, the severity of the landscape, alongside the big high-rise buildings in the backdrop, something that I've never seen before. I've only been to one other place with sand dunes, to be fair, which was old Morecambe, in the UK. So if you've been anywhere else with sand dunes, flare little spot like that, please bang it in the old comments down below. We'll definitely be checking that out. The other thing of note is, you think, oh, I'm walking on sand, whatever. I didn't really think. Again, we make mistakes, so you don't have to. But when we got there, I was like, oh, I'll just walk up my trainers. The sand is really, I guess, really dark inside. So it's got a mixture between soil and sand. So if you are walking up there in white trainers, Exhibit A, G-dubs, or with the old white socks on, they are going to get absolutely coated. So I had to go barefoot in the end because my trainers were nearly ruined. Things you absolutely hate to see. But yeah, when you get to the top, apparently the best time of day to go is sunset. We got there about an hour and a half before sunset to hopefully check that out, but it wasn't the brightest day. So do just take that with a pinch of the old salt as you're looking at the pictures. And people did say that don't stay there too late after dark. Again, I think it's everywhere. You just got to play it by ear and not do anything too stupid. But my experience so far in Chile is it's been super safe everywhere, not had one issue. But again, that's different for everyone. When you're a 6'2" Adonis like G-dubs, maybe people are worried. That is famous last words from me. But something to obviously just bear in mind. And obviously, yeah, you have the flared backdrop. I thought it was a super good spot. So for me, I would probably go Vina Del Mar was my favourite, the Concon sand dunes second, and Valparaiso maybe the third. But again, I guess it depends who you're going round with. I think if we were on a Spanish-speaking trip where they translate a few bits here and there into English. So I think if you went on a tour in your language where every single thing of Valparaiso, where they were giving you the insight, the knowledge, the artists, a bit more about the architecture, the churches, religions, I think it brings it to life a lot more. So I think if you are going to do that, do a trip which is in your language. Because yeah, it just adds to everything. It doesn't matter what language you're in, you can see things and you think, oh, that looks flair, but it's like anything. We went to, what's it called now in Naples, I can't even remember, like Pompeii and stuff, where you walk around it and you think, oh, this is a cool landscape, a cool environment, but when you get the history, the knowledge, or this sign means this, or this building was a baker's, or this was whatever, it just really, really elevates the whole experience. So yeah, for me, go and do a trip, yeah, within your language itself. But yeah, if I did have to be a little bit critical, that would be my least favourite of the three. But all good fun, loving Chile so far. If you want more intel, things we did cover, things we didn't cover, bang it in the comments down below. Santiago vlog and overall thoughts will be live on the channel by the time you're watching this. We're going to go fire up a few birwaris. It's actually their national holiday today, so if you're walking around thinking, guys, there's absolutely no one in the backdrop of your video, it's because yeah, it's super quiet today until about 2-3 o'clock, where everyone goes to yeah, to this like local rugby club and just fires up the birwari. So hopefully we'll be doing that, and then we're either going to be going hiking up in the Andes or back to Santiago and then hiking. We're just trying to work out the logistics, trying to get someone to take us there. It's proving a little bit difficult, but we'll make it happen. So yeah, hit the subscribe button, see you in the next one, and remember, baby, the chef is always cooking. Let's get it.